Hello everyone, TMM Gamer here, bringing you some more Call of Duty Black Ops gameplay. Now today, I'm bringing you a very nice Havana HS10 gameplay. And my perk setup is Lightweight Pro, Steady Aim Pro and Marathon Pro. Now, a lot of you probably haven't used the HS10s, but I've said it before and I'll say it again. They're such a fun weapon to use, and they're actually surprisingly effective if you use them in the right way. If you turn the corner and run into someone, there's no weapon I would prefer to have than the dual-wield HS10s, because you can really blat a few guys down with this weapon. And you see here, I end up going on an absolute tear and having a very impressive gameplay. Now, this is a little bit of a different setup. Normally when I use shotguns, I use grenades, I go around the outside of the map, I take my time, pick people off, but this one, I just thought, right, forget this, I'm charging, I'm being really aggressive. That's why I've got a ballistic knife secondary, tomahawks as my lethal grenade, and I'm just really spawn rushing this game, so it's a very interesting gameplay to have in the background. However, as normal, I have a secondary topic I want to talk about today, and it is the gaming black hole. Now, a lot of you probably have no idea what I'm on about here, so I'll expand a little bit. As you know, in the early parts of the year, a lot of new games are released, and as you get to around now, there's absolutely nothing being released at the moment which is worth my attention. You know, in a few months' time, you've got FIFA 12 coming out, you've got Battlefield, you've got the new Assassin's Creed, you've got Modern Warfare 3. All of these fantastic games are coming out, but for the next month or so, you're left pretty much playing Call of Duty Black Ops, a little bit of FIFA and not much else. So I'm coming to you today asking you guys, what are you playing at the moment? Is there an old game that you've gone back to, and what are you enjoying? Because I really want a new game to play. I'm a little bit bored of the same routine and I want to freshen it up a little bit. I was thinking about getting Fallout 3, perhaps Fallout New Vegas, because you can pick them both up for pretty cheap now. So that's an option, but apart from that, I'm really struggling. You know, the sort of games I quite like action, adventure games, so like Assassin's Creed, really, it's one of my favourite games. I'm a little bit bored of first-person shooters, but if you recommend Fallout, I'll give that a go, because that's very story-based, and that's something that is a little bit different to the normal run-and-gun Call of Duty gameplay that you play. So I wouldn't mind having a bit of Fallout. And what is that guy doing there? I've just put a shotgun bullet into him, and he just calmly walks forward, and then this guy's oblivious. It's just some of the people you come up against in Call of Duty are terrible. But anyway, back to the topic. I'm looking for a new game, and if there's anything original or interesting you could suggest, I'd really be up for it, because I really want to have a break, play something new, play something I haven't played before, so anything you could suggest to me would be fantastic. So if you could do me the favour of leaving in the comments a game that you would recommend, I really would appreciate that. However, there's another thing I'm going to talk about now that I've explained that, and it is the opening weekend of the Premier League. Now, if you're an American, I'm sorry, this bit will probably go way over your head, but as most of you European guys, and especially you Brits, will know, it has been the opening weekend of the Premier League season, and it was a pretty decent weekend. There have been better opening days, but it's a fairly solid first game. You got to see a lot of the new signings in action. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how obviously the season goes in the long run, but I have to say United look incredibly strong again, and I really can't see anyone else winning the title. I mean, even with the millions Man City have spent on Aguero, and you know, they bought that Savage guy at centre half, I really can't see them coming anywhere near to Manchester United. And Chelsea, they haven't really spent too much money. Obviously, they're lining up on Romelu Lukaku, I think will be coming in the next few days. But apart from that, there's not really too many new signings. And as you saw from Liverpool, they might have spent a lot of money, but they've spent a lot of money on some quite average players. I mean, £20 million on Jordan Henderson it's ridiculous in my opinion. He's a decent young player, but to spend £20 million on him when United bought Ashley Young, a proven England international, for 16, it's a little bit wacky from Liverpool's point of view. But obviously Kenny Dalglish seems to know what he's doing. He's a Liverpool legend. Yeah, and I've been living up there for the past year, and you hear the Scousers go on about him. It's like it's ridiculous the amount of adulation he gets. So hopefully, from their point of view, he manages to pull out a cracking season and hopefully blends a new squad together, because they've got a lot of decent players now. If you look at, I mean, Charlie Adam, I think will be a fantastic signing. He really had a great season for Blackpool last year, but it's a little bit of step up in quality. He's not you know, the big fish in a small pond that he was at Blackpool, and we'll see how he deals with that. It's going to be a very interesting Premier League season. You know, I think it'll be a low-scoring point affair, not goals, because there's so many teams that are quite competitive. I mean, outside the top 5, really anyone could finish about 6th to about 15th to 16th. It's not inconceivable for a team like Stoke City to really make a charge for Europe, or perhaps have a bad season and finish 16th, because it's such a tight middle of the table. It's going to be quite interesting to see where people finish. However, in my opinion, there's only really going to be 2 or 3 teams who are competing to go down. You know, I think the teams like QPR and Norwich are pretty much certain to go down. But then you've got Wigan, Blackburn and Swansea, who are the 3 teams I think who are going to really fight to stay up. You know, QPR are going to be taken over in the next few days by Fernandes, this billionaire owner. So if that gets taken over, perhaps QPR have a better chance of staying up. But in my humble opinion, they are pretty much as good as doomed. I mean, when Bolton Wanderers stick 4 past you, you know you're in trouble. I mean, because Bolton normally score 1 goal a game if they're lucky. So for Bolton to stick 4 past them is a sorry sign of things to come. And they're relying on quite a lot of West Ham rejects like Daniel Gabbard to keep him up, and he had a shocker in his debut, scored an own goal. So it's really not looking hopeful for them. But we'll see. It's going to be a very, very interesting season. We'll see how it goes. Right, just a little bit on the gameplay now. As you can see, we're absolutely stomping these randomers. I've got a full party here. I think I've got six in this party, and we're really going to town on these guys, absolutely charging them, really getting amongst them. It's actually a little frustrating. We've got a little bit too aggressive in this part of the gameplay. Ideally, we wouldn't want to get quite as far into spawn, because as you can see with the Blackbird up here, they're randomly spawning pretty much all over the map, because we've got just that little bit too aggressive. Constantly switching and flipping the spawns, which means that we could have possibly got a lot more kills if we'd just been a little bit more disciplined. Now, as you can see here, I have sped up the chopper gunners. In previous gameplays, I got rid of them completely because, like I said before, everyone has seen how to use chopper gunners. You just aim for the red squares. It's not very interesting gameplay to watch. But one guy pointed out that it'd be quite nice to see how well I did on the chopper gunners, so I've left them and I've just sped them up to about 3 or 4 times normal speed. So I hope that's useful for you. But anyway, the gameplay's slowly winding to a close here. I think the final score is 53-3, something like that. It's definitely in the 50s, and I have 2 or 3 deaths, and that's the one fail on my part in the entire gameplay. So it's a pretty good gameplay. I hope you've enjoyed it. It's something a little bit unusual. It's a change in play style on my part. I charge around the map a little bit more Sandy Rabbit style, get some pretty nice streaks going, get some pretty nice kill streaks going as well, and it's a very nice gameplay. So I hope you enjoyed the gameplay. As you can see, the final score is 57-5, so a very nice gameplay. If you've enjoyed it, please rate and comment as always. Leave a suggestion for a game that you reckon I could pick up for a few quid until the major releases of the year come out. And have a nice day, guys. Thanks for watching.